All right. Jahnoy Chambers, coach of the Manchester High School, the Costa Cup team. Jahnoy, good morning and welcome to the Saudi Crest TV.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a long overdue interview as well, but we take it as it comes.
Yeah, man.
I want to actually, extend my congratulations to you thus far in the competition as to where you're at and how you have been doing as a coach with your team. So, good congratulations to you and looking forward for a much more improved round of 16, I would say.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We
Yes.
have a really good technical and management staff. Everybody basically barring Mr. Edwards. So, it's kudos to them also.
Okay, nice. Johnoy, this is a top of the table clash. And I know it is important not just for Manchester High or just for Glenmuir, but for the fans in general, right across the board. But how has it been preparing for a game like today's game?
To be honest, I would have tried to work on the culture here at Manchester High School, and the way how we're approaching this game is the same way we have been approaching all the other games. Detailed analysis, having the players prep mentally and physically for every single game. So there's nothing different in the preparation. Glenmuir is a tough opposition. We know what they have, and we just have to prepare and try to play our football just the same.
I have a question, but I'm going to leave it for later, as you mentioned, Glenmuir. But, Manchester High in the past have been sailing through the second round, the first round rather, with quite ease. And the second round is a bit tougher. I'm sure the round of 16 will also be tougher. I ask you though, do you think this year, or could you just tell us how this year preparation has been different from former years?
Well, I can't really comment on all the other years. I've been head coach here once before. I think
Okay.
that preseason was interrupted because of several factors. Don't really want to go into that now. But this year, I think one of the key things we did, especially because of the how we know the first round would be, we only
Mhm.
played high level competition. So we played basically all the best schools from Manning Cup and the Costa Cup. Coming into the season, we put a lot of emphasis on our physical conditioning also, because where you can bridge the gap in technical ability, I think you can bridge the gap in physicality. So that was a strategy that we would have employed this season. So hopefully, starting today, we can show how well prepared we are in terms of conditioning, and also what we placed a lot of emphasis on is basically teaching the boys the game. Because football is a cognitive sport, whether they want to believe it or not. So it's all about how well they carry information out and follow instructions. So,
True.
uh, yeah.
Again, Manchester High School knocking on the door for the Dakasta Cup. And today's opposition, as you mentioned, will give you a fair assessment of all the prep that you have been doing so far. But what was the goal starting this competition? Is it that you plan to go all the way or you're taking it stride by stride?
To be honest, this is the start of a new cycle here. Manchester have had a lot of those. But the reality, I think currently we have 25 players on the squad. Next year we'll have, out of that 25, 21 will return. Two
Wow.
starters we're losing. The boys are young, but they're very intelligent, and that's a key thing about this team. We have some really smart boys on the team, and this is something I always said in the past. Once we have the smart boys playing, it will make our job easier because they are able now to think critically and think on their own. And we mix it with some of the boys who can really play well. So it's a good combination. It's a very young team, a dynamic team, but as I said, most of them are really smart. So I think that's what I'm trying to bank on to take us to the next level.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure that you'd love to top the group for more than one reason. Or maybe you're also strategic to see where do you go or which teams would you likely to book. But as important as this Glenmuir game be, what is the strategy? Are you sure? Are you positive that your plan will be taking out this Glenmuir team, or the plan is just to go out there and try to get something from the game?
To be honest, well, it's no secret. Everyone would know that I was a part of the Glenmuir staff last season. My closest friends are at Glenmuir coaching. Um, so I think I have a pretty good idea of what they're going to come up with. Maybe they'll surprise me, who knows. But it's not like we know what the other groups are going to be, so I can say, oh, let's go for a draw or a lose. Or, we just have to go out there, play our football, play our style of play, because that's what we've been practicing, and I think that's been what kills most of these teams over the year. We're playing on
Okay.
Glenmuir or CC. We basically throw out everything we've been working on because of the fear factor of playing these teams. I want my team to be fearless, and that's what you're going to see this afternoon—a fearless team. Nothing too tactical or strategic, just playing with heart and fearlessness.
Not just the coaches, I'm sure that you know of Glenmuir. What about the players?
Well, no, that Glenmuir have some really high class quality players. I'm really close with some of them. Still interact via messages or calls every now and then. I haven't heard from them this week or since the draw was made, but I want the best for each and every one of them, and hopefully everyone come out of this game injury free. I think it's going to be a good game because both teams try to play football. So let's look forward to that.
Mentally or physically, which is easier for you? Thinking about the team that you worked with last year in terms of trying to conquer them, or really and truly you're going out for a big win. What's the mindset in your own personal view, knowing that you have such a real tight relationship with these teams?
Well, uh, it would be more of an emotion kind of sense because it's not been 1 year yet. So it's more emotional. Some of these boys have been calling and shouting on all of last season. I'm up against them. The coaches that I would rely on bounce information off will be playing against them also. So it's more emotional than anything else. But we're all professionals here. And as such, when the game starts, all of that has to be pushed to the side, and I have to do what I have to do, and I know they'll do what they have to do in terms of trying to get the result. I know for sure Glenmuir don't want to lose, and I don't want to lose either.
And you are at home.
Yeah, yeah, we're at home, and so far this season, as I was saying to the team in the team meeting last night, we have not conceded a goal at home. I think our better performance, if not our best performances, have been at home, and I think this Glenmuir team will really give us a challenge, see if we're the real deal or if we're a made in China product. So I'm looking forward to the game. I'm a bit excited, So yeah.
Yes, I think this may be your toughest opponent, especially in an attacking sense. How much
Yeah.
have you made changes to your not just game plan, but to your team and to conquer this Glenmuir team?
you know, Working with Andrew, I've learned certain things, and working with other coaches, I've also learned certain things. But one thing I take away from Andrew still, you have to be confident in what you have been doing. If also you have been practicing this particular way, he'll make some little tweaks here or there where you can't throw out what you have been doing because of the opponent. They have to beat us playing our way, and that's something that we will be employing today. They have to beat us playing our way. If we lose, if we win, at the end of the day, we can say, at least we lost our way, or at least we won our way.
Yes. All right. Very good. But finally, coach, looking into the Costa Cup, there are a lot of teams being touted and so on. But who are the players we can look forward for from Manchester High School to look for in this evening encounter? I know that you say you're 11, but who are these players who you can count on when things are not going right?
And as cliche as it might sound, I
Yeah.
think the difference with this Manchester team versus the other teams, as much as we have a player scoring 20 plus goals, it's the collective. And as cliche as it sounds, it's the collective. Because even throughout the rounds, a player may not be consistent. This game, somebody else coming will have really good players coming off the bench also. So it's really the collective. I think you have the standouts like the ones who have been scoring and assisting, but the guys who have been keeping the clean sheets, the goalkeeper, they have also been doing really well. So it's kind of hard to single out anyone because as a unit, I think they've been really doing well, and really they have been improving game by game.
I want to know what's the name of your leading goal scorer again?
Javante Garden.
Javante Gardner. Looking out for Javante because we want to see goals and we're expecting. Because I tell you this, it's not just for the Saudi Crest show or the Saudi Crest TV, not just for Jamaica, but scouts from time to time would have been looking at these little clippings, the games, and so on to look at these boys. So we just want to highlight them, and so that's one reason. Not so much to set you up or your boys for this game.
Yeah, understand, and that's why I tell them whenever they go out there, it's their platform for them to perform. In every single day, they have to give it their best. They don't know who's watching. Um, some of them have been doing really well, like Javante, and Shamon. But like some of the ones who don't get mentioned are like or defensive midfielder or central midfielder. They don't get on the score sheet, but they're the reason why the others are getting on the score sheet because they just make the game take over. And once you have that love for the game, you really would understand, how important all those players are.
Okay. Coach, there's so much I could ask, but I know I don't want to go too much into your game plans for this
Yeah,
evening. But most definitely in the future, we'll have you now to give us a full interview on the Saudi Crest TV. So I want to wish you all the best for this evening game and for the rest of the competition.
yeah, man. Thank you.
All right. Bless up and thanks very much for sharing a few words with us. All right. So we'll
All
talk.
right, all
Thank
right,
you. So that's Johnoy Chambers, coach of Manchester High School.
all right.
Ladies.
Bye.
All right.